Two tired assistants are stuck working day and night for two bosses who never stop, so they hatch a wild plan. What if they trick their bosses into falling in love? Could a fake romance set them all free or ruin everything? The movie begins in a busy New York office. Harper runs all day for her boss, the famous sports reporter Kirsten Stevens. Harper duplicates papers, bumps seats to first class, and even breaks up with people for her boss. She has a master's degree and zero free time. Kirsten treats Harper like a machine. She demands special food, fake step counts, and decisions on her whole life. Therefore, Harper never goes home. Across town, Charlie does the same for Rick Otis, a loud venture investor. Rick was on Shark Tank and thinks he runs the world. Rick drags Charlie back to the office at night for no reason, but Charlie takes it because he wants a promotion more than anything. Meanwhile, Harper has one secret dream. She wants to write her own article about a senior citizen Olympics where old athletes finally chase their dreams. Remember that dream, it matters later. Kirsten keeps loading on tasks. She wants dinner, a nap, divorce papers, handled everything. Therefore, Harper is starving and exhausted. Late one night, Harper races to grab Kirsten's food, but the deliveryman only takes cash and she has none. Charlie shows up to grab Rick's identical order. He has cash. He pays and walks off, leaving Harper stuck and panicking. Harper begs him to wait. There are two dinners, so they split the food, fixing each plate exactly how their picky bosses like it. It is their first meeting and it is pure war. Charlie demands his money back with interest. Harper calls him a monster over a stolen pickle. They both rush their food upstairs. Each boss barely notices. The two assistants go home empty and worn out. At home, Harper's roommate Becca is glowing. Her sweet boyfriend Mike just proposed. The apartment fills with happy screaming. Harper smiles for her friend, but inside she feels stuck. Everyone around her is moving forward while she answers her boss's phone. Charlie goes home too. His roommate Duncan, a kind teacher, asks how work went. Charlie says he got a waiter fired and feels good about it. At the office, Charlie learns a coworker jumped straight to a top job just because Rick blessed him. Therefore, the promotion feels close enough to taste. Kirsten finishes a fierce interview exposing a college that gets rich off poor athletes. She refuses to soften a word. Harper watches in awe. Then disaster. Charlie connects a forbidden call from Rick's ex-wife, Kiki. Rick explodes over an old letter from her. Rick fires Charlie's coworker on the spot, so the office goes silent. Everyone learns the cost of one tiny mistake. Working late again, Harper finally meets Charlie properly. He pays back the interest he owes. They start to actually talk, not fight. They compare horror stories. Both bosses keep cots in their offices. Both bosses never leave, therefore the assistants never leave either. Harper admits the truth. She has no life, no parties, no dates, nothing. She fears she will end up lonely and mean, exactly like Kirsten. Then Charlie says something crazy as a joke. Both their bosses clearly need love. What if they locked the two of them together? If Kirsten and Rick start dating, they will be too busy for cruel late-night demands. So Harper and Charlie would finally be free. Hold that idea. The next day, Harper shows up with a full spreadsheet. Every food, every habit, every place their bosses go. She has planned the whole scheme. She says they control the schedules. They are the people behind the curtain. They can make their bosses do anything. But Charlie panics and backs out. Charlie has his own life to protect. His beautiful girlfriend Suze wants his time. Therefore, he tells Harper to drop the crazy plan. But Suze is fed up. Charlie keeps saving seats for Rick instead of dating her. She wants a man whose seats get saved, not one who saves them. Suze tries to end things. Charlie begs her to wait for his promotion. She gives him one more chance, but the warning is loud and clear. That night, Charlie changes his mind. He wants to be free too, so he agrees. The scheme is on. First step, get the bosses to meet by accident. They need a meet-cute, the magic first moment every romance has. Their idea, trap Kirsten and Rick together in a stuck elevator. They bribe a creepy building worker named Tim to shut the elevator down. The plan is set. Two enemies, one tiny box, sparks guaranteed. The bosses step in. The assistants stop the elevator on cue, but it goes horribly wrong from the very first second. Rick reveals he is deeply claustrophobic. He panics, sweats, and starts pulling off his pants. Kirsten watches in pure disgust. Rick tries to call the police and nearly loses control of his body. It is a total mess, so the assistants watch their dream meeting collapse. Charlie thinks it worked. Harper knows the truth. It was a disaster. Kirsten and Rick now hate each other completely. But then a strange line gives them hope. Hate is not the opposite of love. They can still work with hate. They just need a second try. Harper learns something wild. A big shot from the building asks security for Kirsten's number. Rick already has a crush on her. Even better, Rick hears Kirsten might land a famous investor for her site. Therefore, he suddenly sees her as a winner worth chasing. The plan lives. Step 2. Get them both to a Yankees game in cheap, distant seats on purpose. Harper sets it up using everything she knows about Rick. Harper bribes the kiss cam operator. The plan is simple. Put Kirsten and Rick on the big screen and let the crowd push them together. At the game, Harper sits with sweet old Dennis, a weightlifting champ from her senior Olympics dream. That dream keeps tugging at her heart. Kirsten arrives and runs into Rick by total chance, or so they think. Awkwardly, he offers her the seat beside him. Then the kiss cam finds them. The crowd chants for a kiss. They refuse, but the chant grows louder and louder until escape is impossible. Finally, Kirsten and Rick kiss to make it stop. The plan worked, so the assistants celebrate from a distance. Their bosses are officially in motion. Suddenly, both bosses go quiet. No angry emails. Harper and Charlie taste freedom for the first time. The world feels open and bright. The next morning, Kirsten glows. She spent the whole night with a man. She felt strength and possibility for the first time in years. Rick disappears too. The scheme is working better than they dreamed. Therefore, Harper and Charlie feel like genius matchmakers. With free time, Harper finally goes on a date with a guy she calls Golf Guy. Charlie cooks for Suze. Both try to grab a normal life. But Charlie says something honest. Suze never really talks about anything real. Duncan agrees. Charlie just laughs it off and stays with her. Trouble comes fast. Rick will not call Kirsten back, and his old-fashioned dating rules threaten everything. The new romance could fall apart early. Worse, Rick demands Kirsten get a beauty salon appointment to match his picky taste. Charlie pushes this awful task onto Harper. Harper realizes the scheme has trapped them. They cannot just push their bosses together. They have to keep managing every step so the work never ends. They keep coaching Rick on what to say. Charlie teaches him about the 2 kinds of compliments women want. Slowly, Rick starts to charm Kirsten for real. Over chips, Harper reveals her real reason for all this. Becca's engagement party is coming. She needs Kirsten gone for one free weekend. So they plant an idea. Make Rick invite Kirsten on a romantic weekend trip far from the city. The bosses leave. The assistants finally breathe. Charlie gives Harper dating advice. Do not focus too hard on one guy or you will scare him away. Date several at once. Harper hates the idea. But Kirsten suddenly cancels the romantic trip. A bad dinner with Rick went wrong and she felt small and stupid. Therefore, the whole weekend collapses. Kirsten rages that Rick made her look foolish on purpose. Their fragile romance is cracking and Harper sees her free weekend slipping away. Rick is worse than ever, trying to fire a mailman, so both assistants agree they must get the bosses back together before they get crushed. Kirsten snaps at Harper and calls her useless. Then Harper finds Rick's son's ruined school project again. She quietly fixes it overnight. Late that night, the 2 assistants finally open up. Charlie admits he stays for the money and the title, even though he hates the actual work. Harper admits her painful truth. She has never finished a single article. She is so busy serving Kirsten that she fears she lost her gift. Remember this wound. They rebuild the science project together, laughing in the dark. So a real connection grows between them, quiet and warm and undeniable. Rick shows up drunk and oddly kind. He admits he hates losing and that Kirsten thinks he is a loser. He begs Charlie for help. Charlie gives the perfect advice. Stop trying to win. Just tell Kirsten you respect her. Tell her you truly see her. Rick repeats those exact words to Kirsten. He tells her, I see you, and just like that, she melts. The romance roars back to life. Kirsten and Rick are together again, hotter than before. Therefore Harper and Charlie keep their freedom. The wild plan is fully working. At the party prep, we meet Duncan again and feel the friendships growing. But Harper waits for a call from golf guy that never comes. At Becca's engagement party, Charlie comes along. Suze is there too. The night is loud, drunk, and full of dancing and confessions. Harper learns golf guy will not call. She feels rejected. So Charlie steps in and promises to be her other date for the night, just to lift her up. Becca gives a wedding toast. Her grandmother once said, "You like someone because and you love someone despite their flaws." The whole room goes quiet. That phrase sticks with Charlie. He asks, what is Rick and Kirsten's despite? The thing they overlook for love, he cannot find one, a red flag. Later, hungry and silly, Charlie and Harper sneak away. A pizza arrives. So begins one of the sweetest moments of the whole night. Charlie climbs a fire escape ladder, holding the pizza in one hand, making Harper laugh until she nearly cries. The chemistry is impossible to ignore. They sit and eat that simple cheap pizza together. Harper calls it the best meal of her life. Something real is happening between them now. Harper heads home glowing, but she still belongs to Kirsten and Charlie still belongs to Suze. Neither will say what they truly feel. The next morning, both bosses call them in together, and they drop a bombshell. Rick and Kirsten are getting married. They will elope on a beach in a few days. Therefore, they order their assistants to set up the entire wedding. The scheme just spun wildly out of control. Worse, Rick promises Charlie the big promotion he always wanted, so Charlie is thrilled, but Harper looks sick. This is moving way too fast. Kirsten pulls Harper aside and softens. She admits she is hard on Harper on purpose to toughen her for a brutal industry because she sees real potential. Then comes a chilling clue. Rick tells Charlie to send his ex-wife Kiki daisies with a flirty note about a past romantic trip together. Remember that note. Rick also says to lie to Kirsten about where he is tonight, so Charlie hears it but pretends not to notice. The cracks are spreading fast. Harper feels proud anyway. She believes they truly made two lonely people happy. She thinks the scheme finally did something good and real. Rick asks Harper to help pick the ring, so she goes, charmed and flattered, but a phone call is about to shatter everything. While ring shopping, Harper hears Rick was flirting on the phone. Charlie covers for him, claiming it was just a sweet voicemail for Kirsten. Harper tricks Charlie into admitting the truth. Rick was talking to his ex-wife Kiki. Rick is cheating. The dream marriage is built on a lie. Charlie wants to hide it. They control the phones and emails. They can keep Kirsten in the dark, but Harper is horrified by the idea. She accuses Charlie of ruining lives just to keep his boring girlfriend and chase a job that does not matter. The friendship cracks wide open. Charlie fires back. He says Harper is too scared to write, scared she will find out she is not good enough. The words cut deep and true. Harper makes her choice. She will tell Kirsten the whole truth, all of it, so she walks away from Charlie, heartbroken and furious. Harper finds Kirsten and confesses everything. The elevator, the kiss cam, the breakup fix, the trip, none of the romance was ever real. Kirsten is stunned, then cold. She tells Harper she is too young to understand real feeling. Therefore, she fires Harper on the spot. Get out. Now Harper has nothing. No job, no boss, no Charlie. Her dream of being a writer feels further away than ever. She has hit rock bottom. She goes home to Becca, defeated and broken. But Becca, blunt as always, says getting fired might be the best thing that ever happened to her. Becca delivers the lesson Harper needed. Your first draft will be terrible, so write it anyway, then make it better. Just stop hiding and do it. Therefore, Harper sits down with her old dream, the senior Olympic story, and finally starts to write. No more excuses. The wound starts to heal. Meanwhile, Charlie eats a fancy dinner with Suze and feels hollow. The food is expensive, the talk is empty. He misses cheap pizza and Harper. Charlie realizes the truth. He does not want this life or this relationship, so he kindly ends things with Suze. He is choosing to change. Then Charlie has his own awakening. They cannot let this fake wedding happen, so he races to the airport to stop it, calling Harper to meet him. Charlie confronts Rick at the gate. He says he does not want to become him. He turns down the promotion and quits, a huge, brave choice. Then Charlie speaks straight to Kirsten. He tells her how hard she works and how Harper admires her and says do not put up with Rick's lies. To prove Rick never really knew her, Charlie quizzes him. Rick gets her favorite food wrong, he gets her favorite place wrong, he fails every question. The worst blow comes last. Rick does not even know Kirsten's real name, therefore Kirsten finally sees the truth. The marriage is over. Back at the diner, Harper finishes her whole article, beginning to end, for the very first time. She did it. The dream is finally real. Even Rick learns a lesson. He shows up wanting his ex-wife Kiki back and realizes he never knew her either. He has to learn to truly care. Kirsten tracks Harper down. She admits the office is falling apart without her, so she offers Harper her job back, a peace and a victory. But Harper says no. To become a real writer, she has to stop hiding behind being an assistant. Therefore, she walks away to chase her own dream. Instead, Harper hands Kirsten her finished article. Kirsten reads it and loves it. She even loves the title, Twilight Champions. The mentor finally sees her. Now only one loop stays open. Harper and Charlie, the two schemers, both changed and both free, but have they lost each other for good? Kirsten secretly sets them up. Harper and Charlie meet by surprise, both Serrano'd by the very boss they once tricked. The matchmaker is matched. Charlie reveals he quit Rick and is starting over as a lowly temp at 28. So he can finally find out what he actually loves. Then he says the words, he likes her so much. She is not hard to get, she is hard to earn, and that is so much better. Harper teases out all his flaws, every silly one. He wears suits to sports games. He is a sore winner. He uses too many exclamation points. And yet, there it is, the despite. She loves him despite every flaw, so the loop that opened the whole movie finally snaps shut. They kiss, free at last, no bosses, no schemes, just two people who set everyone up and somehow set themselves free. Joy found in open spaces.